We've managed to get a little bit closer now that the other vehicles have left. There's still Ephraim with us, but we are right in sort of the prime spot now, right next to these two male cheetah. And I've heard quite a few people have noticed, and now that I'm a bit closer and I'm not driving after them, this male closest to us here, his left eye, he's got a cataract that's forming. Wait for him to open his eyes and we can have a look. It doesn't look, from when I had a look with my binoculars, it doesn't look like it's from an injury, that wound in the eye or the cataract in the eye. It is probably a genetic defect, and that does happen in an animal that, like cheetah, or with that is very, very closely related to all the other cheetah, or in sort of inbreeding. If other lions or leopards are heavily inbred, cataracts are one of the more common sort of genetic defects that come through. This one obviously is probably just natural, and just it looks like it's still forming. It hasn't completely covered the eye, so I'm pretty sure there's still some vision, but it'll be very blurry. And it's amazing that these animals, even with that type of hindrance, are able to still hunt quite effectively. Come on, chappie, open your eye. There we go. You can just see. So there we can have a look at that cataract in the eye. It hasn't fully formed over the whole eye yet. See little flies around his face as well. So I definitely think he's still definitely got some vision out of that eye. Would probably make me put these cheetah a little bit older than I initially thought, having a look at that. They're probably possibly even as old as 7 or 8 years old, but still definitely in the prime. So for those of you who might have joined us a little bit late, or a new viewer, we're on a live African safari, and we are currently sitting next to two male cheetah that we've been following for quite a while now. And if you have joined a bit late, we did discuss the cheetah's eyes. We've been discussing the cheetah in front of us. He has eye, and he's got a bit of a cataract in the left eye. But also earlier in the drive, we discussed that around the cheetah's eye is very black and dark, which is quite different from a lion or a leopard. And Kelsey has noticed this and was also asking and wondering whether it's because they hunt predominantly during the day that they have this. Kelsey, that is spot on. Lions and leopards have white around the eye to try reflect as much light as possible during their nocturnal forays, whereas cheetah are crepuscular, which means they're most active at dusk and dawn, and they will have that darkness around the eye to try stop a bit of the glare from the sun. that I've been lucky enough to witness some incredible things, like a huge or that 9.5 hour epic cheetah battle in northern Botswana. And Rava from Tucson is wondering, says, cheetahs so quiet, do they make any noise while they fight? They do. It's a whole bunch of hisses and snarls and growls. And those of you who saw the live safari where we saw these two males get chased by quarantine, a cheetah growl is definitely not the most intimidating of the big cat's growls. It's sort of a oh, so it's sort of deep throaty purr more, but they do make a lot of noise. I'm not going to try and make those noises while we're sitting so close to them, but if you remind me a bit later, I will try and make some of the noises you can hear during a cheetah fight. See the constant flicking of the ears, trying to keep those small biting flies off them. And now that we're here, if we can go back in on the feet and have a nice close look, that we're a bit closer at those paws. There we can see very distinctly the claws, so the semi-retractable claws, and you will notice that a cheetah's foot is quite wide and big, like we said, and that's quite unusual for an animal of its body size to have this incredibly large foot. So, sitting with this coalition, and obviously we don't get to spend a lot of time with Cheetah, so Kelsey is very excited and asking lots of questions about the Cheetah, and Kelsey is wondering if I can see which is the dominant out of the two males yet, from what we've seen so far, or does dominance displays only come out when there's females around? Kelsey, not only when there's females, but also sort of in scent marking, and sometimes in playing and feeding you will be able to. But from what we've seen this morning, unfortunately, I'm not able to yet work out which of these two males is dominant.